Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, hit like, share and link. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, home of the champions. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, hit like, share and link. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, home of the champions. When I need a scoop on the league, I hit up the dream team, go to Rams Buzz.
Welcome to episode 8 of the Golden Ram Buzz podcast with Damon and Sal, sponsored by Recover 180 as well as Brea Bakery bread. I'm Damon, your host, as well as my co-host who didn't get traded, it seems. Sal Martinez, you didn't get traded?
Yeah, I'm still on the roster.
Oh, I didn't trade you for VIP rents for the next 50 years,
There's
Sal.
a lot of strong rumors, but
yeah,
I'm still here.
Hey, you're still here, Sal. Thank you. You didn't get traded. Thank you, Sal. I'm here. I didn't get traded either. Mm-hmm. Sal, with that being said, the Rams win 20-15 over the Rams. I'm not even going to say their name, Sal. I'm going to go over some stats. They win 20-15. Okay. They say it was an ugly win, but wins don't have to be pretty. Only your girlfriend and your wife have to be pretty.
Well, yeah, you know, it's crazy when some people are saying, like, a win is a win. I'm like, you know what? To me, that was one of my favorite games in years.
And you know why? Yeah. Because I'm going to go over some stats. The defense had 4 turnovers. Kobe Durant, interception. Cameron Crowe, fumble recovery for 33-yard. Touchdown. Jalen McCullough, 2 interceptions. He intercepted 2 at this time. He intercepted 1 against Green Bay. Okay. Stafford, 14-23, 154 yards. This is his lowest passing game, they said, in his Ram career.
Years,
Kyren Williams, 2 TDs. He now has TDs in 9 straight games. Okay. The record is Greg Bell with the Rams has record in 10 straight games. So, like I said, this was an ugly win, but a win's a win. And you don't have to be pretty to have a win. We won because if we would have lost, the fans would have been like, everybody's done. Everybody's, season's over, bye. But with that win, the Rams are still in last place, 2-4. Seattle's 4-3. Arizona's 3-4. San Francisco's 3-4. But we came back from a bye with the win. It shows you that, we established something because 1 week, everybody's on the defense for playing terrible. This week, everybody's on the offense for playing terrible. Your thoughts on everything, Sal?
To me, it's like, I'm excited because I could see the Rams defense starting to come together. But there's still a lot of football left. It's funny when you look at the standings and you see that the Rams are in last place. I just don't feel like they're a last place team. I know that the margin, and the difference from first place to last place is really small, and it could be made up as long as the Rams take care of their, what they need to take care of. But, once they start getting their players back, the Rams are as good as any of those teams in that division.
And a lot of fans are the Raiders. Oh, you beat us 20-15. A win's a win. Why it doesn't matter how somebody wins? Like if the Raiders would have beat us, the whole tumbling down, it's over. So why do people care if how a team wins? KC's 6-0. Are they blowing teams out? No. They blew out the Niners.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people have always, not only Ram fans, but a lot of people are always critical of the Rams. How many times did the Patriots, how many times did they blow anybody out during their reign of the NFL, right? You count their rings, that's all that matters. But they won many Super Bowls by field goals. They didn't dominate anyone or blow anyone out. It doesn't matter. A win is a win. And to me, it's like, I was just excited because, I'm happy for Chris Shula because I see the defense starting to come together just like, he said it would. And so, I kind of, I saw many, high explosive offenses, throughout Rams history, greatest show on turf. I love all that, but I also love defense. I like those defensive battles, and it was nice to see the Rams defense actually carry the team, for 1 week, and kind of, everybody relies so much on Stafford and the Rams offense. Stafford has to have a big game for the Rams to win, and it was nice that the Rams defense was able to pretty much lead the charge, and, Stafford could be, average or mediocre and still come out with the win.
And during the game, Aiden O'Connell, I believe, broke his thumb.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah. Gardner Minshew came in, took his place. We held, the Raiders scored us, Sal. Meaning no touchdowns, 5 field goals. Doesn't it sound familiar, Sal? Because didn't one game, Cardi had like 4 or 5 field goals. This time the Raiders scored all their points on field goals. Sal, the only thing I didn't like, Cardi, Sal, another missed extra point. Didn't he miss a field goal too, I believe, right?
He did, but a lot of times, when he was in college at Stanford, when you have so much success, you think it's automatically going to carry on into the NFL, which it did. But everybody is going to go through that. Every kicker is going to go through that. Most kickers play for 2-3 teams before they finally get it right and they start becoming dependable. But he's still the right guy. He's just got to write it out. I think he's young. I mean, he's trying so hard not to, sometimes when you press and instead of just, eventually, I mean, he has the talent. He's the right person. And so I'm sure everybody on the Rams roster, all the coaches believe, he's the right guy.
So with that loss, I believe the Raiders are out of the playoffs. Raider fans out of contention. Raider fans out of all 3 cameras out of the playoffs. Out of the playoffs. Out of the playoffs. Your season is over, Raider fans. They're done. 2-5. They're not coming. Sal, KC has a 5-game lead. You have these AFC. No way. The Raiders are done, Sal. They're done. Like, come on now. I don't even know. No need to talk about them anymore. I mean, I'll bring them up in updates, but no, I don't want. The tailgate was awesome, but the Raider fans are just. It's over. Their season's over.
Yeah, Raider fans are definitely interesting. Yeah. They love their team, no matter what the record is, what the score is, but yeah, it's always nice when you get those wins. I mean, the Rams 2 wins, one against the Niners and the Raiders. I mean, those are 2 wins that, I mean, as Ram fans, we're always going to cherish those.
Like I was telling Raider fans all day at the tailgate. Raider fans, hey, after this game, when you lose, take off your jersey and put on your Dodgers jersey.
But would you give some of the Raider fans, like best dress, maybe? They are creative.
Yeah, they are. There's a Chucky guy walking around.
Yeah, I love to see the Raiders dressed up.
Yeah, I mean, I met a lot of interesting people at tailgate. Good food going on, and once you see the tailgate video, it's
yeah. It was really cool that that the game was smooth and there wasn't too much going on, and I think hopefully Ram fans are starting to show up instead of just not being there for certain teams.
And I made an error. I keep on saying the Raiders beat us in 2014. They haven't beat us in 2014. They beat us in 2010.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, we won 52-0. We won the Marcus Peterson game right there. Baker Mayfield game, and then this game we won like 4 games in a row. Yeah. The last time they beat us, they had a quarterback named Gronkowski or something, and I don't even know who the Rams coach was. They beat us like 16-13 or 16-4, some one of those games. And every time we play the Raiders, except the 52-0 game, I love that game. Sometimes it's close, like 20-19.
Yeah,
the Baker Mayfield game,
shutting any team out, especially the Raiders, that was crazy. And then the funny thing was, the following time the Rams played the Raiders, Raider fans were giving the Rams, sideline the business, and I believe it was Ogletree. He got the whiteboard and he wrote 52-0 and like turned it towards the fans. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I got to watch that again, but I love rewatching that game because that was the game they just went off. But hey, a win's a win.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, everything went perfect that game for the Rams.
Yeah, except the Cardi situation, but we got to get that fixed because the second half of the season starting.
Oh, yeah, with the parity being what it is, and these games are going to come down to a field goal. Yeah.
So let's go over last week's scores. Sure. See if we got any help. Okay, Seattle destroyed the Falcons 34-14. I'm going over a couple. The Chiefs, beat the Niners 28-14. Do you know that Kyle Shanahan, as a Niner coach, has still never beaten Andy Reid?
Yeah, never beat
2 Super Bowl losses, 2 regular season losses. Oh, I love it. I think he's like 0-5 against them. This was a great game. The Ravens and the Bucks, 41-31.
Oh yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah, but they lost. The Bucks lost Chris Gooden, I believe.
I saw that. Well, they may have lost 2.
Yeah, Mike Evans and Chris Gooden
injured also.
Yeah, Chris Gooden. Cards beat the Chargers. I was going for the Chargers, 17-15.
Yeah, they had that last second field goal.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's crazy because when the Chargers picked up, and they still might be, but when they picked up Harbaugh, Charger fans were talking about Super Bowl and everything, and you see where they're at now.
The Steelers beat the Jets. They got Devontae Adams. They got People don't understand. When you trade for somebody, they expect him to go for 3 touchdowns and Aaron Rodgers is going to click. No, it takes time off. I mean, it still could be the same language when they play for Green Bay, but you still got to get adjusted. You're new to the system that Aaron Rodgers runs with the Jets. He has to get his receivers accumulated with you. I don't think he played, but I don't think he played. I don't know what he had.
But I think anyone that watches, just watch the Jets team, they weren't a receiver away from winning. I mean, they got a lot of issues. It's not just the receiver. So, putting trading for Devontae Adams and expecting him to, just have a smooth transition and also, lead the team in reception and touchdowns. It's not going to happen. It takes a while.
This was a great game. Lions and the Vikings, 31-29.
Oh, yeah. The Vikings started off hot, right? But eventually, the Lions, they're on fire. I mean, I'm happy for Jared Goff. I've always been a fan of Goff, but you still got to win the big games. I want to see, towards the end of the season, how he plays well.
A lot of people are saying the Lions they're a Super Bowl caliber team, that if they play the Chiefs right now, the Lions would be favored. I said, listen, people, the Chiefs, have been in like 4 Super Bowls. This is going for 3 straight. The Chiefs are undefeated. The Lions are not the best team in the NFL. The Vikings are not the best team in the NFL. The best team in the NFL is a team that hasn't lost a game and is back-to-back champions, in my opinion.
And I think also whenever you try and you look at matchups, first thing I look for is coach. I look at the coach first. Second, quarterback. So, I mean, Andy Reid and Mahomes, do you think Dan Campbell and Goff are better than those guys? No.
And second half of the season is about to start.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they always adjust. Think about it. They're like 5. I think they're going to go like 14-3.
But, right now, they're, like I said, they're much like the Patriots. They do just enough to win. And the record, they're undefeated. Right now, they're smart. You don't want to play your best football right now. It's way too early.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. But in the AFC West, let's be real. I mean, Denver's looking good, but they have a 2-game lead. And we know, I don't think anybody in that division can go head up with Mahomes. Who's the quarterback of Denver? A rookie. Quarterback of the Raiders. We don't know. Yeah. Chargers, Justin Herbert. Come on now. No way. It'd be no way. Because Andy Reid throw some tricks.
He's going to win. They're going to win that division.
And you got to remember, Kareem Hunt came off the street. They're handing him the ball. Like, okay, you ready to play? Like, come on.
And he picked up. He scored too. He's seamless.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
It's interesting. I heard on the radio recently that if the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill still on this team and the other receivers that were healthy, they'd be like probably 16-1. Yeah. There's no deep threat on their team.
I mean, think about it. How many teams can get rid of Tyreek Hill and still continue to win?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to introduce our guest, guys. Later on today, our guest will be Rick SoFire Tailgating. You see him at the tailgate side. I met him at the tailgates.
I heard a lot about him.
Yeah, he always
heard a lot about the food.
Hey, he be throwing down. Dude, too bad I can never get any. I see him like, ugh, because I'm at my tailgate and he be throwing down. Dude, that's how I met him. I'm just like, man. And he also sits in my section. So we're gonna take a break and come back with Rick SoFire Tailgating. I call him King of the Q.
Making me hungry. Yeah,
no,
just talking
man,
about
it. So the next segment, he's coming up. Shout out to our sponsor, podcast sponsor, La Brea Bakery Bread. Take and bake with the Brea Bakery Bread. You can find the Brea Bakery Bread at all your retail stores, grocery stores, local grocery stores. You know grocery stores you guys shop at. This right here is a torta roll. I can do a lot with this torta roll. You know what I'm going to do with this torta roll? Come to tailgate and see what I do with this torta roll. I make a carne asada torta. Big shout out to La Brea Bakery Bread. Take and bake with La Brea Bakery Bread. Whose house? Rams house. Woo! Joining us now, our guest, Rick Tennant. I call him King of the Q because this man cooks at every single tailgate for World Tour Rams. He represents World Tour Rams. He's an amazing cook. Man, I'm going to let you tell it. He's going to tell you guys a story. He grew up in Southern California, lives in Vegas now. He has attended every Rams home game. He's a season ticket member, and he lives in Vegas. Once again, he lives in Vegas and attends every tailgate and every Rams home game. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick, King of the Q. SoFire Tailgating, baby.
What's up, fellas?
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Good.
Thank you.
So my question is this.
Yes, sir.
What made you a Rams fan?
Oh, God. Going back, I was born in the mid 70s, so I would go to Anaheim Stadium, watch the Rams when I was a youngster with the family. We would go to as many games as we could as a year, every year. Mm-hmm. But back then it was probably maybe like 4 or 5, I guess, for us. Okay. But, we would usually go back then. So ever since we started, that's a team I went into, and that's kind of what I stayed with. So,
now, when they left to go to St. Louis, did you stay a fan or did you get mad and say,
"Let's hear the real"? A lot of people don't understand this. I was pissed. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I was pissed off for a year. Right, 94 season was the worst ever, and I kind of didn't watch them for that first year, and because I was so upset that they left, and I was that mad. But you know what? I have to let it go, and because I went back to I didn't watch any other team. I wasn't a fan of any other team. Yeah. But when they left, I was a little upset. So I will just say I did boycott them a little bit that year. But, 95, I got back on the wagon just because I knew that I missed it.
Got over it.
And I got to get over it. Absolutely.
Got over it.
When they left, Sal right here, Sal has a barbershop called the Golden Ram. When they left is when he built his shop in Westminster. Sal, how did you feel about when they left? Because obviously you built a shop when they left. So
yeah, I mean, I was devastated like a lot of the Ram fans. And it was crazy because like for me, I heard rumors that the Rams were possibly going to be leaving like around 1992. I heard them. So for a couple of years, I kept hearing rumors. I mean, I heard that they could possibly go to either Baltimore, San Antonio, or St. Louis. So I was kind of just bracing for that. I kind of, until it was official, but the rumors I kind of knew, but I finally got my shop together, and then I opened my shop in 1994. So the phone number is actually 714-894, which is August 94 Rams. So it's easy to remember the phone number. But I remember when I opened my shop, there's a high school, Westminster High School right down the street. And some of the students would walk by and they're like, man, I can't believe that you stayed loyal. And I'm like, you know what? I said, people were like, how can you cheer for a team that is no longer here? And I said, well, have you ever had any friends move?
Yeah.
I said, do you stop talking to your friends when your friends move, or do you just get the next neighbor, whoever moves in, as your best friend? Yeah. So they kind of understood. And I said, you know what? The Rams didn't leave me. They just left for a better deal. So I tell people it's kind of like when you have a dog, you can't keep, you want them to go to a good home and you'll be able to visit them and stuff. So that's how I looked at that Rams stay in St. Louis.
Now, Rick, do you have a favorite all-time Ram? Because you obviously grew up with Anaheim, playing in Angel Stadium, the Rams. They play Coliseum. They play at SoFi. Do you have a favorite during that time? Do you have a favorite Ram that you like to this day?
So I will tell you, there are a bunch of guys that I liked watching to play. My all-time, without a doubt, it's going to be Eric Dickerson. I got a chance to meet him. I had a great time. But there's like 4 or 5 other guys that I also enjoyed watching. So that question obviously can be kind of broad. Eric Dickerson, obviously my one guy. I like guys like Flipper Anderson, Greg Bell.
What?
Mike Lansford. I loved watching him.
Lansford was great, right?
Kevin Green.
91 Hall of
Jackie
Famer.
Slater. Some of these guys that were just iconic to me, growing up. Eric Dickerson, though, probably going to be my all-time favorite. Absolutely.
Now, you commute from Vegas to SoFi every Rams home game. What time do you leave Vegas? Or do you stay in a hotel when you come? How does it work?
So I leave at about 1. So I leave about 12 hours before game time. So I'll leave Vegas at about 1 in the morning.
Okay.
And then if anybody's gone out to Vegas, it's about a 4.5, an hour drive, give or take. And then so, how we set up, we get out on Century on the south. So I'll pull into Century at about 5:15.
Wow.
Every home game, I'll hang out for a couple hours and, wait till we go in.
Now, do you go home straight after they win or lose?
No. I'll get a place. I'll get a hotel nearby, and I'll go crash. That makes for a long ass day. So.
Hey, I seen the contraption in your SUV that you have is all like MacGyvered out and everything's like very precise.
So it's a big operation.
It's a big operation he has. Now I call him Rick. Explain to people why I call you. You don't say it. I call you this. Why do I call you King of the Q for? Explain that.
You know what? I have been known to throw a little cooking down from time to time.
That's a great skill.
It's a good time. I appreciate obviously the nickname. There's certainly a bunch of guys out there that do a lot of good barbecue anywhere in the tailgates. I've never claimed to be a barbecue guy, but I love cooking. I love trying to do different stuff, and that's what it comes down to.
Now explain how Cedric the Entertainer and Anthony Anderson, what they crowned you, what happened that time.
That was awesome.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So, long story, I'll try to keep it sort of short, but the Rams ended up reaching out to some of these, these booster clubs, and they got a hold of our guy, Chris. Chris is the, head of World Tour Rams. And they said, you have somebody there that, does a lot of your cooking because, Cedric and Anthony Anderson are coming through. They want to sort of promote their own AC barbecue line. And so if you have somebody that can cook, we'd like to, provide them some sauces, some seasoning, that kind of thing. So, of course, Chris was like, yeah, absolutely. I got a guy. We get this taken care of. And there was a couple other guys, that, do their thing and, props to those guys. But those, Anthony and Cedric, they came through. They kind of hit us last. And so I put a couple of recipes out there using their stuff. And they stopped there and they really enjoyed it. We got our DJ and that kind of stuff right next door, or right next to our setup. And they enjoyed it. I think I made, I did a brisket taco, and then I did a pulled pork slider. And I was just trying to do something a little different, and tailgate type food, handheld, something easy to eat. Yeah. And they loved it, and they certainly hung out for a minute, and that was really cool.
Nice, man. I see her.
Save the best for last.
Yeah, I see all his food. I'm like, man, I wish I lived in Vegas. And every time I see him at the tailgate, like, I'm just like, dang, like I see it after because our tailgate is going on. It's hard for me to leave. I'm just like, one day I'm gonna try his food. Oh man.
Yeah.
And then we even got footage. They're gonna, we're gonna see the footage of him cooking at the tailgate. We were at the tailgate. We interviewed him for a quick segment.
That's such a great skill,
man.
I mean, I know how to eat, but
I wish I know that. So
none of that.
Listen, you both are always welcome over to our side. We'll take care of you. You know that.
No, we're definitely gonna stop by.
Yeah, we got one day. We got to stop. We're just gonna be like, Sal, let's go over there right now. Yeah, but I'm afraid, Sal, if we stop by, we're just gonna stop and not go back.
Listen, just leave what you guys are doing. Just come over. Just walk across the street or whatever. Come over. We'll take care of you. Get you fed. And
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite thing to barbecue? Obviously, you could cook a lot of barbecue or cook. What's your favorite thing to cook or a barbecue?
I actually get asked that quite a bit, and I love doing street tacos, and I do a bunch of different styles. And I don't know if a lot of people know this. Some do. When I pick my menus, okay, I actually will find the city that the team's coming from, and what I will do is figure out what their regional cuisines are, and I'll pick 4, 5, 6 or whatever things from their region.
Wow!
And I'll make them tailgate appropriate.
Okay. For our
tailgate. So, we had the Packers, like 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. So I did a bunch of Midwest type foods just because, we're going to have a bunch of Ram fans stop by. But guess what? We also have Packer fans stop by.
Yes, true.
And when Packer fans want to come and eat and they say, oh, I got pierogies on my plate and I got, this and that. They're like, how did that even happen? I said, well, listen, we do a little research. We make a little food. We make you, comfortable that you're here. And then we send you on your way to, hopefully you get lost. But, it doesn't always happen, but that's kind of how we pick it. So, again, to answer that question, I love making street tacos. We did, I think for the Raider game, we did 5 different meats and just different stuff. And that's kind of what it's about. We're trying to do something a little bit more elevated, a little bit different at our tailgates than the regular hamburgers and hot dogs and that kind of thing.
So my question, so you got the Vikings coming to town. Are you making for Minnesota? I don't even know what they eat.
So for Minnesota, I probably won't be cooking. The only reason why it's a Thursday night game, it's a little bit tougher to get out there. And, obviously our crowds don't get bigger till the end.
Yeah.
But I know our next game is going to be the after that, the Monday night game against the Dolphins. So, I'm going to come up with something that's got to do with Florida or, somewhere down in that part of the country that, people should enjoy.
I was thinking, hey, for the Minnesota game, I got some Purple Rain, Purple Rain patch or something.
We got something called like Kafelka fish or something. I don't even know what it is.
Hey, call it the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any questions you want to ask him, Sal?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's really cool that, to make them feel welcome.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, but to do like research and really be creative. And so to be able to have that skill and then also share it because, I for years went to a lot of road trips, Ram road trips. And it's nice when you're welcome like that because those fans remember. And then when the Rams go, to their city, they remember the, hospitality, the food and everything.
Do you recognize, you see my shirt I'm wearing, Rick? Can you see it?
I see it.
Yay.
I love it.
Everybody, So Fire tailgate. Whenever you come to a Rams tailgate, hey, Road Tour Rams, Booster Club, bro, check with him. Tell him Damon sent you. And if you do, bring me a plate over. Because if I go over there, me and Sal going to get kidnapped. We're not going to come back. I'm letting you know now.
Listen, I'm telling you both, listen, just come over, enjoy the time over there. Even if it's one time for the season, we'll get you some, something to eat, something to drink.
Because I can't eat and run. I gotta chill. I can't eat and run. I'd be like, oh, this is good. Can I get a second, third, and fifth plate?
Just hang out. You have a good time. Just hang out.
Hey,
everybody's welcome. I've seen everybody posting stuff that both teams are. Both fans are welcome. That's kind of what it is.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all football fans. Yeah.
If you're a 49er fan, we don't really, do that thing. But other than that, everybody's welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us,
Appreciate
Rick. So Fire Tailgating, aka King of the Q.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Thank you so much for joining us, Rick. Thank you for
your time. Appreciate it.
And we are back. That was a great interview with Rick. So Fire Tailgate, King of the Q. Sal, if we go to his tailgating, we may not come back to ours.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm scared of.
Wait. Yeah.
I can't wait. That's what I'm scared of. I'm just like, man, you don't understand. As you can see, as Angel showed the people, man, he'd be throwing down. Yeah. Like his meats are just on. Sometimes I see him just like, what you cooking today? I'm just like, hey, I'm just like, dang. Dog. Like he tells me because I see it's already.
Yeah, it's so awesome that he's like really creative and stuff.
Yeah, very creative.
To me, that I mean, it's definitely is a skill and an art to be able to, entertain that many people, but also like kind of personalize, depending on, to do a little research about the team coming in.
And what I like, Sal, people come from Vegas. Like, we have people that we come from Fresno that we tailgate with. Jaime and his son Peter, they come from Fresno. He comes from Vegas, you know what I'm saying? To come to every Rams home game from Vegas. Some people, when the Rams lose, I don't feel like coming 30 minutes. I'm done. Like the season where everybody got injured, nobody wanted to come. He was still coming from Vegas. I'm just like,
and that's one of the reasons why. You remember when they were talking about the Rams returning, right?
Yeah.
And so the Rams had, they were going to scrimmage against the Cowboys in Oxnard, right? And so I was talking to Sam Farmer from NFL. He was covering that, the possible return of the Rams. But we were talking about the Rams history, and I said, for us real Ram fans, I said we're like the California condor. Diehard Ram fans are like, endangered species, like the California condor. Mm-hmm. So all of us Ram fans, we share the same passion, speak the same language. A lot of casual fans, they would never understand.
Yeah, and to say he was naming names I knew, like, who names Mike Lansford? One of the Mike Lansford, the barefoot kicker. A lot of people don't know that. Jackie Slater, he named Greg Bell. He named there was Eric
a lot
Dickerson.
of good years at Anaheim Stadium.
Yeah, and then I forgot to ask him because he's in Vegas. I'm like, how did it feel when the Rams won? You walk around with your Ram stuff on in Vegas because he's in enemy territory. Well, not really, because I probably know a lot of Raider fans in Vegas because they all come in and leave. Once the Raiders.
I think in Vegas, it seems like it's kind of like a, transient type fan base right now. But they're sporting. The sports in Vegas is starting to really.
Yeah, they're gonna get the A's in a couple of years. I think the NFL teams coming. So let's go through. I'm gonna go through the division leaders right now, Sal.
Okay.
And then we'll end the segment with the Thursday night football game. So these are division leaders, Sal. The AFC West, the Buffalo Bills are 5-2. The New York Jets are 2-5. New England's 1-6. Miami's 2-4. Basically, Buffalo's going to win the division, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the Jets, New England's going to be the number one pick. Shedeur Sanders.
Man. No, I think Travis Henry will be the number one pick. Whoever gets that number one overall.
Yeah, the guy from Colorado, Henry. The safety. What's his name?
That plays,
both ways.
That guy's a tremendous player.
The AFC North, we have Baltimore 5-2, Pittsburgh 5-2, Cincinnati 3-4, and Cleveland 1-6. Remember, Baltimore started off 0-2. They've now won 5 in a row. Lamar and Derrick Henry are 1-2 punch that people are scared of. What do you think about who wins that division? Baltimore?
Well, I thought Baltimore would run away with that, but after seeing Russell Wilson, play quarterback for Pittsburgh, he adds another dimension to that Steeler team. So you never know. If he could continue to play like that, it'd be pretty interesting to see how that ends.
The AFC South, Houston's 5-2, Indy's 4-3, Jacksonville's 2-5, and Tennessee's 1-5. Is it Houston's division still?
Yeah, I still think it's Houston. Yeah.
Now, Jacksonville's 2-5. Is that a disappointment?
Wow, yeah, definitely, yeah, because they're regressing now. You're starting to look at Travis, looking at Trevor Lawrence, and he's just, he's starting to regress. It looks like the coach is kind of losing the team. So they're having some problems.
I forgot to bring up.
I've always was a Trevor Lawrence fan, but I don't know. It looks like he's not that guy anymore.
I forgot to say about Cleveland. They're 1-6. Deshaun Watson's out for the year. Is that Shedeur Sanders? But Deion's like, nah. I think Deion could control some stuff. But I mean, they may do an Eli Manning or a John Elway. My son's not going to Cleveland because they're 1-6, about to fire the coach, and they're done. They're 1-6.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, I'm sure it's gonna be a handpicked spot for him to play. But I mean, I get it because you want him to have a successful career. And to me, it's the same thing with the Chargers. It all starts from the ownership down.
AFC West, the Chiefs are 6-0, Denver's 4-3, Chargers 3-3, and the Raiders are 2-5. The only team that's out of playoff contention, the Raiders 2-5. Chiefs are going to win the division. They're 3 games up. 6-0. Come on, Sal. Let's be real.
Yeah, they're only going to get better. Chiefs are a really good team.
The NFC East, Washington's 5-2, Philadelphia 4-2, Dallas 3-3, New York Giants 2-5. Who do you think wins that division, Washington or the Eagles?
I think probably, if Daniel stays healthy, I think Washington Commanders will win that division.
The NFC South is a close division. Atlanta's 4-3, Tampa Bay's 4-3, New Orleans 2-5, and Carolina's 1-6. What stumps me, Sal? Didn't the Saints start off at 2-0? Didn't they score the most points first two games? They lost 5 in a row. They look like
explosive.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you look at their numbers, and they're just. That's why football is amazing. It's really hard to handicap for anybody, and that's one of the reasons why I never panic. I know that our record isn't what we want it to be, but there's a lot of football left, and I know the Rams will start picking up and playing their better football as the season plays on. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So
now Carolina's 1-6. They benched Bryce Young. They brought in Andy Dalton. What's going on with that team, Sal? Is this Bryce Young? Is he going to get traded? Is that one person that's going to get traded, Sal, pretty soon?
Well, really, I think it would be kind of hard to trade him because really, I mean, what value are you going to get for him? For what they gave up for him, they're going to want some compensation. No one's going to really give much for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be in the right situation. He would almost have to be, I mean, it'll be, like the Trey Lance where you're just going to end up giving him away, trying to get something for him.
Now, to me, this is the best division competition-wise. NFC North, Detroit 5-1, Minnesota 5-1, Green Bay 5-2, Chicago 4-2. Sal, who wins the division and why? Look at these teams are, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, Green Bay, I think Green Bay is really tough.
And I know what you said about our division. You think 2 teams are going to make it out of our division. I don't think 2 teams in our division is going to make it. I think 2 teams out of this division are going to make it. Because look how tough, look how close they are. They're gonna excel because, like I said, Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay, and then Chicago may sneak. I don't know if they're gonna sneak in, but they're all good quarterback play in that division. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, do you think they could sustain it for 17 games? I mean, one of those teams or 2 of them are gonna fall out.
But last year, didn't they have 2 teams make it? Last year they had Detroit and Green Bay make it, and they both played the Niners and couldn't hold the lead. They could have met each other. They could have met each other in the NFC Championship game. It's supposed to be Detroit versus Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. Niners came back and beat Green Bay. Niners come back and beat Detroit. This year, speaking of the Niners sound in our division, you hear what Brock Purdy and all that stuff going on. You see the video. You see the picture of him and Shanahan in the locker room. Shanahan like scolding him for like 5 straight minutes. Like, yo, what's going on? Because you see that game, he missed a couple open plays, Sal. And,
what did I tell you? Remember when I told you when I went to the Super Bowl, how many, right? Like I said, when you watch the games on TV, the cameraman just follows the football. But when you're in the stadium, I counted like 5 plays that he missed. And that's why I said the Rams, it'd be the Rams and Chiefs, because I said Stafford will make at least 3 or 4 of those of the 5 plays. I mean, these guys were wide open. You have to see the field, especially now. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities against the Chiefs or good defenses. You have to take advantage of them all. But he's starting to regress a little bit too. You see that the Niners are starting to unravel. They're an older team. You saw Ayuk, gone for the year.
Out for the year. Right? I hate injuries, man.
But you look at Trent Williams, you saw him getting in that little scuffle. And I mean, it's frustrating, but that window of opportunity, it closes really quickly.
I think in the NFL you have 4 years of 4 years, like 12 years in the NFL.
Yeah,
because
I say like 3 to 5, but I think the Niners, they got 2 Super Bowl runs out of it. But
remember in the Kaepernick years, they went to the NFC Championship game, this game, Super Bowl, like the 4 years, like that window to beat, and then it's like you're older and you got to move on because this team is old.
But isn't it interesting now? You look at Purdy and it's like, okay, everybody was talking about how great he was. Now you're starting to see him kind of hit some. Right, he's hitting a couple of rough spots. Now, do you give him that big contract?
You see.
I mean, to me, it's like, okay, now he's starting to become. He's coming back down to earth. He's starting to miss receivers, kind of throwing a couple of picks and stuff. I don't know if I would really invest a lot of money. You have to really rethink that.
That's Sal.
I never go by stats. Like a lot of people, young people that play fantasy football, they always go by stats. Stats never tell.
Now this Thursday, the Vikings come to town. I'm going to tell you a story. When I grew up in Orange, right, Orange, Atlanta, I had neighbors that came from Minnesota that lived next door to me for about 10 years. So I'm going to give a big shout out to the Gurgans.
You had a Viking family.
I have a Viking family next to me for like 10 years.
Too,
as kids, right? Okay, the Vikings, he had Vikings.
They love the Vikings.
Yeah, they love the Vikings. So I'm going to give a shout out to the Gurgans.
Nordic. They love their Vikings.
Jack Gurgan, Kathy Gurgan, Becky Gurgan, and Derek Gurgan. They're my neighbors for like 10 years. He had baseball cards. I go to his house as a kid, play with his kids. So once again, a shout out to Jack Gurgan, Kathy Gurgan, Derek Gurgan, and Becky Gurgan. With that being said, the Rams are going to beat you Vikings anyway. Go ahead. Let's talk about that game, Sal.
I was going to say, we had a family like that too. They were like that too.
Yeah.
and passionate fans.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. They moved back to Minnesota when I was a kid. Like they lived next to us for like 10 years. They went back to Minnesota.
So they were knowledgeable.
Yes,
right?
yes.
The Vikings. I remember that Bud Grant. Bud Grant used to crush us all the time. But that was when they played in outdoors and stuff. That's when a lot of that weather was a big factor.
Now,
but I'm excited about this game. Viking fans travel really well, so I expect another big crowd. But I think the Rams, the defense is going to start, taking over some games now. I really do. I think the Rams, the fact that they can get pressure on quarterbacks now, I think it's going to be a big advantage. For the Rams, I would just start running the football with Kyron and Blake Corum, and also just playing good defense. We need those takeaways. Those 4 takeaways were huge, right? And being able to score was even better.
A couple years ago, did we play the Coliseum? We played the Vikings on a Thursday night as well.
Yeah,
when they had Kirk Cousins, it was a great game. Yeah, it was a good game.
Goff had a hell of a game.
Yeah, I know. So we played the Vikings. We played them again one time at we played them in Minnesota before too. Yeah, but like this is gonna be a Thursday night game. Like we gotta, this another because Sal, we're 0-3 against that division. We lost to the Lions, we lost to Green Bay, we lost to Chicago. We can't go 0-4 against the division because that's also the NFC. When they do the matchups, like the Rams finished tied. Oh, let's check the head-to-head matchups. The Rams were playing the NFC.
The first tiebreaker is head-to-head. Yeah, so you definitely want to sneak a win out. It's gonna be a tight game, but I think the Rams will win that game.
With that being said, tailgate starts 12 to 4:30. Big shout out to our guest, Soulfire, Rick Soulfire, tailgate king of the Q. Shout out to our flyer, Chris Cruz on the flyer. Shout out to our DJs, DJ Fat Albert, DJ 80 Beats, DJ Illmatic. Shout out to Malik. Shout out to our cook, Fernanda. Shout out to my partner, Vinny. Shout out to Sal. Shout out to our team, Angel and Jason. Whose house?
Rams.
Whose house?
Rams house.
Whose house?
Rams house.
See you at SoFly Stadium. Yeah.
Whose house? Rams house. You know who we rolling with. Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share, and link. Whose house? Rams house. You know who we rolling with. Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champion.